It started with the smell. It was December 1978, Des Plaines, Illinois, a quiet suburb in the middle of winter. But inside the house at 8213 West Summerdale Avenue, the heat was on. And rising from the floorboards was a scent so thick, so putrid, that visitors would gag. The owner of the house laughed it off. He said it was moisture. He said it was bad plumbing. He said it was sewage. But it wasn't sewage. It was the smell of 33 young men rotting beneath his feet. This is not just a story about a serial killer. This is a story about the ultimate disguise. The man living in that house wasn't a drifter. He wasn't an outcast. He was a businessman, a community leader, a political captain, and on weekends, he was a clown. This is the case of John Wayne Gacy. And this is Motive's Edge. To understand Gacy, you have to understand the concept of camouflage. Most predators hide in the bushes. Gacy hid in the spotlight. Look at his resume. He was a successful contractor, running his own business, PDM Contractors. He was a precinct captain for the Democratic Party. He was named Man of the Year by the local Jaycees. He had his picture taken with the First Lady of the United States, Rosalind Carter. He wore a pin on his lapel that said, Secret Service Clearance. He was loud. He was gregarious. He was helpful. He was the neighbor who would plow your driveway when it snowed. He built a mask of respectability, so thick that no one could see the monster underneath. But there was another mask, a literal one. Pogo, the clown. Gacy created this character to entertain sick children at hospitals and perform at charity events. He designed the makeup himself. But look closely. Professional clowns use rounded corners on their painted mouths to look soft and friendly. Gacy used sharp points. His painted smile ended in jagged edges. It wasn't happy. It was menacing. He once told a police officer while in costume, "You know, clowns can get away with murder." He wasn't joking. For Gacy, the clown suit was more than a costume. It was a state of mind. It was a permission slip to regress, to become something primal and chaotic. When he was Pogo, he wasn't the respectable businessman. He was untouchable. The fracture in his psyche was absolute. During the day, he commanded respect. At night, he demanded submission. His method was a terrifying mix of con man trickery and brute force. He lured young men, teenage boys looking for work, looking for a mentor, looking for a ride. He used his status as a contractor to promise them jobs. He used his charm to get them into his car. And then he used the handcuffs. He had a trick, the rope trick. He would tell his victims, "I can show you a magic trick with this rope." He would tie it around their necks, telling them he could escape. It was a game, a performance, until he pulled tight and the game ended. This wasn't just killing. It was the ultimate exercise of power. For a man obsessed with status and control, the rope trick was the moment of total dominance. He turned life and death into a parlor game. The edge was crossed so many times that it ceased to exist. Between 1972 and 1978, 33 young lives ended in that house. 26 of them were buried in the crawlspace. A crawlspace is a narrow, dark, unfinished area beneath the house. It is cold. It is damp. It is claustrophobic. Gacy spent hours down there, digging graves in the dirt, often while his wife was asleep upstairs. Think about that psychology. To have dinner with your family, to watch TV, to sleep in a warm bed, knowing that directly beneath you, separated by only a few inches of wood and carpet, lay an army of the dead. He literally built his life on top of his crimes. The smell that permeated the house, the smell he blamed on plumbing, was the physical manifestation of his rotting soul. And he lived in it, he breathed it. It became his atmosphere. The mask finally cracked because of a single missing boy, Robert Peast, 15 years old. He went to ask Gacy about a job at a pharmacy and never came back. But this time, Gacy had been sloppy. He had parked his car right out front. People saw him. The police started watching him. And Gacy enjoyed it. This is the narcissism of the Pavlopath. Instead of running, he invited the detectives in for coffee. He joked with them. He bought them beer. He played the role of the innocent, influential businessman until the very end. He thought he was smarter than them. He thought his mask was impenetrable. But then, one detective felt a draft coming from a heater vent in the floor, and with the draft came the smell, the undeniable, overpowering smell of decomposition. They crawled under the house, and the true face of John Wayne Gacy was revealed. The crawlspace was so packed with bodies that the bones had fused together. It wasn't a house, it was a mass grave. When he was caught, Gacy didn't show remorse. He showed arrogance. He bragged. He said he killed 33 times, but he only murdered once. The rest, he claimed, were just business. He tried to plead insanity. He tried to blame an alter ego named Jack, but the jury saw the truth. Pogo the clown, the businessman, Jack. They were all masks for the same cold, calculating predator. The case of the killer clown teaches us a terrifying lesson about trust. We are taught to fear the stranger in the dark alley, but John Wayne Gacy was the man shaking your hand at the block party. He was the man entertaining your children. He proves that the most dangerous monsters don't look like monsters. They look like us. They wear suits. They wear badges. And sometimes they wear a painted smile.